I think we take the sort of start of the band to be when we... Well, no, is it when we did our first gig? Not really.
Well, maybe the thing is, we've been doing musical stuff together for a very long time, and we used, I don't know, to start with, we didn't really take it very seriously. It was a fun thing to do, and we just kind of used to hang out and play music. But so there isn't really a sort of day that we sort of said, let's form a band, and put up a big sign at school or something. But we just... So it's very difficult to say, but we'd certainly been doing things for a while before our first gig. But, we were rubbish, We were learning our instruments as we, together. So there was no way we were going to go out and kind of play in front of other people. It had been hideous. I mean, we were bad enough as it was when we did go out. But that was in 1998.
So long ago, yeah. So have you had at that time daily jobs?
Yes.
Plenty.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
I'm 28.
I'm 25. So have we had... Yeah, we've had lots of day jobs.
All of them really satisfying. No, we've done whatever we could do just to sort of earn money so we could still be in the band, really, like working in offices, and I was a secretary for quite a long time.
Yes.
Tim and I worked in... did some work in homes. I worked in a home for people with learning difficulties. Tim worked in an old people's home.
I did. It was very enlightening.
Good answer.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was actually really nice, but it was a very odd thing to do. You have to have a very strong stomach, but at the same time, you get to meet some very interesting people. And actually, I think I would much rather do that than work in a kind of office, sort of carrying boxes around and putting numbers in a computer.
I would be afraid of this stomach thing, I think.
Yeah, it had its disgusting moments, but I won't tell you about those.
So, but now you reach a lot more people in different ages with your music. How is it for you now to work or to live such a thing?
It's amazing. It's so cool because we've known each other all our lives, and of course we grew up and we got into music together, and you start, having these sort of stupid dreams about being like Bono or Michael Jackson or whoever it is, and then that was why we formed a band. But of course, for sort of 99% of people, that dream eventually you have to give it up and go and start living a sort of a normal life and actually grow up and get a proper job and stuff, whereas we've just never really grown up, and actually we've been really, really lucky, and now we can play music all the time, which is great.
And now your parents are very...
They're very happy. I think they were a bit worried, because it's taken us years to get here, so they've probably had about 7 years of kind of gradually sort of going grey very quickly and worrying about whether we were ever going to make anything of our lives. But now they're really, really proud of us. And I think my mum and dad are sort of more into pop music than they've been at any time since about 1966. So, yeah, my mum's really into Eminem.
And you guys often go through all these comparisons with older bands. Is it a fault of journalists in general, or maybe of people who listen to music because they need kind of comparisons?
I think there's probably a bit of both. People need reference points to sort of get a picture of who you are as a band, especially when they haven't heard any music. But also, yeah, journalists kind of, one journalist will write one thing, and then other journalists will just copy what that one's written, and so you get these kind of self-perpetuating things and comparisons. But we kind of feel that once people get to know us a bit better, and now that the record's been out for a bit of time, people will actually begin to see us in our own light more. And I think there have been comparisons to bands like Coldplay and Travis and Radiohead, and sometimes they can be helpful, but most of the time I think we feel that we just like to be seen as we are, and I think that hopefully give it some time and we will be.
I think it's It's slightly annoying, but only because the bands that we sometimes get compared to are not really the same bands that influenced us. You know, I think we're not ashamed of the bands that have influenced us, like, you know, the Smiths, for example, and U2 a lot. I don't know, Oasis and Paul Simon and, I don't know, David Bowie and, you know, lots and lots of people. You know, so occasionally someone does actually say, oh, that sounds a bit like the Smiths or something. And, you know, when that happens, we don't mind. We're actually quite pleased in a way. Yeah, so as long as we feel it's accurate, then we're happy.
I don't think we thought that it would be such a big deal. Just because when we started using the piano, you know, our guitarist had left a long time before that, and I think we were just used to working as we were, and the piano just seemed like the natural thing to play our songs with. And you know, since we started getting sort of attention from the media and people like that, you know, people have been writing or saying or asking us a lot about the lack of guitars, and it is quite strange because I think we feel that the piano sound is what is natural to us, and you know, it wasn't like a calculated move to get rid of the guitars. And so it's slightly strange when people ask us about it. But I guess that's fair enough because people are so used to hearing, you know, guitar bands or seeing bands with guitars in them. And also I think because, you know, the style of our music and a lot of the influences, you know, quite guitar-y, and so maybe they wonder whether there should be a guitar there. But I think you know, at the end of the day, does it work as a sound, the sound that we have? And I think we feel it does, so that's probably the most important thing.
Well, again, I mean, unfortunately, everything about our history has been incredibly complicated. In Britain, we've released Everybody's Changing twice. Basically, very early last year, we had the chance to release a single, which was just like a tiny, I think it was 500 copies to start off with, which is nothing, obviously. And it was the first time we ever had a chance to get a song on a CD, and it was very exciting. And we just had this new song called Everybody's Changing, so we put that one on. And, you know, it got on the radio a bit. You know, that was what started everything for us, but not many people heard it. But, you know, it just kind of got in a few magazines and that sort of thing, and on the radio. And when we recorded our album, at the end of the year, we re-recorded the song, and we were really, really pleased with it. And we thought, you know, it's stupid if only a few people have ever heard this song. You know, we really wanted to get it out there again. So, you know, we released Somewhere Only We Know as the first single off the album, but then for the second single we thought, let's do Everybody's Changing again so that more people can hear it this time.
Well explained.
Thank you.
Yeah. Some of them you do, because people are quite precious about things, and I think some of them will say, are bound to say, oh, I much preferred the original, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I think most of them were pleased. We gave them a couple of new B-sides as well with the next single, so I don't think anyone minded too much.
I think we have a very loyal set of fans, and I think they probably understood why we wanted to re-release it, because I mean obviously they bought it the first time round because they liked it, and I think they understood that we wanted more people to hear it, and so yeah, I don't think they minded at all, and some of them sold the original copy on the internet and made a load of money out of it, which is a great thing because, you know, well done them for buying it the first time, and I think they deserve every penny. Yeah. But, you know, if you need the money, then sell it, you know. I mean, you know, it's silly. Some of the...
You think it's okay?
Yeah, I do think it's okay, you know. I mean, if somebody's prepared to pay, you know, a lot of money for the CD, then they're going to treasure it. Obviously, they really want it, and... you know, I'm sure they'll enjoy having it. And if one of our loyal fans who, you know, who bought it first time round, you know, needs a bit of money, then yeah, sell it. You know, it's only a piece of plastic. You know, you can't take it with you.
Controversial.
Well, that is just my opinion, by the way. I don't know what these guys think about it.
I talked to a lot of musicians, and they're absolutely like Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
Yeah, well, he's probably a bit poor himself. He probably needs a few pence, doesn't he?
Yes, very bad.
It's very important try and get out there and play to as many people as you can, because I think it's such an important way of expressing yourself as a band, as well as the recording side of things. There's something very exciting about seeing a band play live. And especially if you enjoy it and you're good at it, which I think we feel we are reasonably good at it. So it's nice to get out there and do that for people. And supporting Starsailor and Travis and bands like that has also been great for us, because they've got the kind of fans who are probably open to our type of music, and it's a way to expose your music to a lot of people. And we did those 2 tours before our album came out, so again, it was another way of getting out there and playing to as many people as we could. And we're doing it all this year, and we're going to try and continue, to keep doing it as long as we can, I think.
Another really good thing about playing live is that you actually get to meet people, and you can talk to them, and if they want to find out about who you are, where you come from, what kind of people you are, then they can do that at a gig, especially if it's a small one and you're a new band, and you're not being, you're not sort of being driven around in limousines as soon as you get off stage and all that ridiculous stuff. And also, when you see a band on stage, if a good kind of live band will kind of give you an impression of what sort of people they are, and you can learn something about their characters and what they kind of mean as a band. And sometimes it's difficult to get that on the radio. If you just hear a random song on the radio, you can't really tell much about the band. For us, it's a really, really important thing.
We've played gigs with bands that are much, more successful than us, and they still, they've still retained their sort of human side. And I think it is possible. You just have to sort of try and remember who you really are. I mean, I don't know. And maybe it's harder, and maybe, you can't go straight out after the show, but, if you wait. I mean, I can remember when we supported Travis, there were people who waited 2 hours, outside the venue, and there, after 2 hours there were only a few people, and when Travis came out and said hello, they met those people, they made sure they went and said hello. So, you can still do it. Maybe you can't do it quite as much, but, I think, if we try and remember that it's the only reason we're there, and in our, big swanky tour bus is because of the people that have, paid money to see us and supported us, then hopefully, we'll always go and see them and say hello, because, that they're the reason that we're doing all this.
Yeah, I think our music's very personal, and, it is about real things and, real people, and it'd be nice to let people know that we are real people, and because there is a certain image of musicians and rock stars, whatever, of being kind of untouchable and living on a different planet or something. And I think we feel that our music's not really like that. It's more about normal people and the difficulties that you face in everyday life. And I think we need to feel we can get that across, just by the way we are as people as well. So that's why we keep doing it, I think.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
We haven't met any yet, so we're trying to keep our feet on the ground. But
that's the thing. If I saw a Hollywood star or someone like that, my legs would turn to jelly and I'd be starstruck. Whereas, we don't really see ourselves like that. We kind of feel like pretenders in the world of fame. It doesn't work like that for us.
Yeah, we kind of feel like we accidentally got let into the party or whatever, and got slipped past security just so we could point at people and say, "Wow, look who that is." Yeah, I like sending emails on my BlackBerry, and I think I could live without it, but it certainly, when you're on the road a lot, being in touch with people is one of the hardest things you can, to do, especially when you're in different time zones, or you're flying, or you're doing lots of interviews and things. So anything that makes it easier to talk to your friends and family back home is very precious when you're in a band.
I'm very greedy when it comes to food. I just can't stop eating sometimes, even though I know I should eat less. It's very bad. So
it doesn't show.
Oh, yes, it does.
That's just the camera that's on. Wait,
Yeah. Sleep. Well, I'm quite weird because I can fall asleep. I don't. Well, actually, this isn't that uncommon, but I can fall asleep anywhere and at any time if required. I'm a kind of legendary cat napper, I suppose, and it's a very useful thing to have in a band because very often you're doing things at odd times and just catching a bit of shut eye here and there can be very helpful. So
it's very annoying for the rest of us because if we're on the bus or something, Tom will just say, "All right, well, I'll see you in Scotland," and just sort of go like that, and he will just 6 hours later you'll arrive in Scotland and you go, "Oh, are we there? Oh, that was quick." And you sat there kind of looking at your watch.
It is like some sort of strange form of time travel because I wake up and I'm in a different. Well, no, time travel. Do I mean that? Yeah.
And also, Tom's now learned how to sleep through takeoff on aeroplanes, and anyone that can sleep while the plane is taking off or indeed landing, I think, deserves some kind of special prize.
We were on 2 flights this morning.
Can you?
Yeah, it's.
Well, I think
I love it.
it's such a great talent.
Maybe it's good for you because you can get his food on the plane while you're sitting. You are the loser in this.
Yeah, because I have to switch off my phone. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, another thing is, if you could swap lives with someone, who would you like to be?
Oh, Tom.
Is this for for a day or forever? Because I think I'd struggle to swap my life with someone forever. But if it was just for a day, I think there are probably a few people I'd like to be. Don't know who. Can't you guys say something?
I wouldn't mind being in the Beatles for a day in about 1965, maybe. If we're allowed time travel as well.
Apply with me.
This is all very realistic. Are you going to make this happen, by the way, if we choose something? Oh, damn.
Who would you like to be?
Who would I like to be? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody really cool like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. I think I'd like to be Maverick for a day and just spend the day sort of zipping around the sky, preferably without losing my wingman or whatever. But yeah. Or Indiana Jones, that would be fun.
Indiana Jones would be great, yeah.
That'd be great.
Just have those skills with a whip. Anyway, we won't get into that.
So another thing, is there someone you would like to pay back for what he did to you?
It would be nice if we could sort of reward Simon Williams, who was the guy who allowed us to put our first single out sort of by getting him a knighthood or something, make him Sir Simon Williams, because he's basically responsible for us being able to release our music. So yeah, we'll get him some sort of big prize or a big crown or something.
Well, paracetamol can be very bad for under 18-year-olds, which a lot of people don't realise.
Is that true? Why?
I don't know, they found out a couple of years ago that you have to be very careful when taking paracetamol if you're young, yeah.
I used to take it loads, because I used to get a lot of
No
headaches.
wonder.
I used to get a lot of headaches when I was at school, in fact, to the point at which the people at school actually thought I was faking, and just so I could get out of class, but I just used to get migraines, and it was only when I kind of threw up that they believed me. So, that's not a message at all, that's just a story.
About what?
Stories about drugs are always welcome.
Oh, well, to be honest, we sort of, not that we have many stories about drugs, but we try not to make it a thing that we use as like a publicity thing, because it's not a very good thing. I don't think.
We could tell some stories about trugs.
Trugs?
From an area in Sussex where they make these really cool sort of garden baskets out of strips of wood, and they're called trugs with a T. And I bought my mum one of these for her birthday a few years ago, and it was probably the best present I ever got her, because they're really cool, they're really sort of delicate and quite arty, but they're very practical as well, and they last a long time.
Did you get that from the Trug store or Super Trug?
There is a place called the Truggery, and I got it there.
No, it's true. This is deadly serious.
That's absolutely true.
No, it's true.
It's about the only place in the... Well, it probably is the only place in the world. There's one tiny... Did you just say this? There's one tiny village that has 2 drugstores.
Is
You
that
just
what
say
husbands
that?
see?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's absolutely bizarre. And I don't think there are any other drug shops or whatever you call them in the whole world.
But they have 2. I mean, imagine the rivalry. You know, like there'd be mafia-style shootouts across the high street.
Are you trying to get people to say sort of don't take drugs and things, or not? I had a friend at university who took lots of heroin and died. That was good. So I wouldn't recommend that.
No.
I think you will see that in your life when you're still working in this business and
Yeah,
all these parties.
we see a lot of coked up people, which is normally pretty unpleasant, really. So anyway.
And quite a few stoned people. There were sometimes when you get a backstage area, you get very sort of, the air can be very heavy with the smell of things burning.
Which is personally a smell I like, but so it's not always that bad, is it?
But sometimes before you're going on stage, you kind of want to focus your mind rather than free it.
I'd rather have that than the coked up people. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Are we carrying on? You're trying to stop us. It should be them. It should be us trying to stop you, but you're trying to make us shut up.
We were just about to tell you a really interesting story about Keane and drugs, but we were out of time.
Yeah.